Hey guys, this Batman logo animation is something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I had a blast putting it together. Now, although it seems simple, the process to get here took some time. So here's an overview of all the steps it took to put together this animation. And just an FYI, I'm going to try to keep this explanation brief without going into too much detail, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer. With that being said, let's get into it. So the first step was modeling the logo with curves. I wanted to make my logo based off of the '89 Batman, so I found reference to the logo to bring into Blender. And then it was just a matter of tracing the logo with curves and later converting those curves to a mesh. Now, this creates a model for you, however, the geometry can be less than ideal. So next was retopologizing the logo. I wanted to have a clean mesh to work with and be able to subdivide the geometry, so I used a plugin called QuadRemesher to automatically retopologize the model. There was a little cleanup after the plugin did the heavy lifting, but the time saved to get a clean base mesh is incredible. I highly recommend looking at QuadRemesher if you're looking for a good auto retopology tool. It's a huge time saver, and I included a link in the video description if anyone is interested. After I had a clean mesh, I added inverted fillets to the edges of the model to add more detail and give the model more interesting surfaces to catch light. Now it was time for materials and lighting. I wanted the logo to resemble the '89 version while also adding my own touch to the materials. Instead of the '80s airbrushed chrome look, I decided to go for a more realistic look, something that felt metallic like one of Batman's gadgets. It had to be grungy and feel used, with edge wear and imperfections. I used a plugin called Fluent Materializer, which allowed me to experiment with and develop complex materials in a procedural way without having to commit to anything until I was truly happy with the result. There's a link in the video description if you're interested in checking it out. It's a really powerful way of texturing in Blender. For the lighting, I was going for a feeling of the logo being lit by the streets of Gotham at night. This was a matter of adding a bunch of lights and removing or adjusting lights until I was happy with the overall look and feel of the logo. The last phase before rendering was animating the cameras and lighting. I split the animation into two shots. Shot 1 was the initial logo reveal, and shot 2 was the rotating zoom in. For the first shot, I added a follow path and track to constraint to the camera. This just makes it easier to control the location and rotation of the camera when the movement needs to be a little more organic. For the Batman letters, I just keyframe the location and rotation for each letter to move them into position. Because the second shot was simpler, I just keyframed the location and rotation of the second camera. The lights were also keyframed to adjust the power in order to reveal the logo as the camera pulled back in the first shot. For the second shot, I keyframed the power of the light again to transition back to a dark scene as the camera zoomed in. After a few final tweaks of camera positions, timing, and lighting, it was time to render with cycles and add sound in post. And this was the result. And that's it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate everyone for taking the time to check out the video, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and take care.